Good morning to all my young friends. First of all, thank you so much for the wonderful feedback you sent me. You wrote to me the messages, lovely messages that you wrote me after the first video that we did on anger management. Now the platform is to discuss, right? Like I said last time, this is a platform where we discuss and deliberate on various issues. Because the feedback I got was so interesting, I thought, why not discuss all that in this particular video? That's why the second in the same series. We all are different people. The way we react to things, to situations, to people vary from person to person. What makes one person angry need not make the other angry too. It can hurt or make the other person feel upset or sad. My good friend Anirudh Nichala writes to me saying that his insecurities make him very upset, very sad. If he doesn't get something that he desires, he does not fly into a rage. Instead, he withdraws into a shell. He feels very upset. Anirudh, you're absolutely right. I am more like that kind of a person. I remember growing up with a lot of insecurities, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. You name it, I have been through the gamut of emotions while growing up. And like I always say, we learn, we grow as individuals, right? My good friend Siddharth Soneja writes to me about trigger words or references from the past about some tragic incident or some unpleasant episode that has caused us some amount of trauma. When any kind of reference is made to that episode in the present scenario, the person can become extremely angry. It can trigger anger in a person. You're absolutely right, Siddharth, and there are various kinds of coping mechanisms that we employ to handle situations like this. Now, one thing we must remember is life is full of moments. Our past has a very strong grip on us. It doesn't leave us ever, believe me. We only make peace with our past, but it's an integral part of our life, and it will remain like that always. That's why they say, learn from the past and make your future a glorious one. Live life to the present. But to move on, to forget what is there in the past is not an easy thing. Okay, it's a lifelong lesson that we all learn. We learn, we grow. But there are certain coping mechanisms that we employ in handling these kind of trigger words or situations that can trigger anger in a person. We try to avoid unpleasant situations. Okay, we try to keep away from people who bring back those unpleasant episodes or memories in our life. Now, these are not always possible, but to a large extent we can practice that. In case you feel the anger rising up within you, try to breathe deeply. Okay, practice deep breathing. They say yoga and meditation helps, but it is not something that is guaranteed to help us, but it helps. Deep breathing always kind of helps calm our nerves. So that is another technique that helps. And one thing to remember always, that life is a series of moments, right? What has happened in the past is over. Those moments are never going to come back. It is our past, right? What is going to happen in the present is entirely in our hands. So at least we try not to let our past somehow color our present. We make an effort towards achieving that. Like I said, it's a lifelong learning process. We learn, we grow. Another good friend of mine, Anirudh Chakravarti, writes to me about the importance of anger. Anger is like a fuel. Okay, it is required. It's like a driving force to do anything good or unfortunately some bad things too in life. So anger is a fuel, like we discussed last time, to do good things in life. And one thing he says is what makes him angry is when people keep saying sorry and then repeat the entire episode all over again, as if not giving much credence to the advice that is given to them. When they don't learn from their past mistakes and keep doing the same thing over and over again by saying sorry or apologizing for their behavior. When they don't learn, it makes them angry. Now, Anirudh, what I say for this is, let people be. We have all kinds of people around us. Okay, and that's what makes this world beautiful and interesting. Okay, the different varieties, different kinds of people makes this world a more interesting place to be. And imagine all of us being perfect and all of us being alike. It would be like not a desirable place, believe me. A challenging environment, an imperfect world is what makes the life so interesting. And like the famous Beatles song, let it be. So I think it always helps when you have that in your mind, that just let it be, let the world be the way it is. We try to take control of ourselves, we try to change ourselves, because changing the world is a very difficult task. Okay, we change ourselves, slowly the change will kind of trickle in those around you, and finally we hope and we expect the world to become a better place to be in. Kyan, my good friend, writes to me, and I find his thoughts very philosophical, and he says that he avoids getting angry when he places himself in the other person's shoes. What an interesting thought. We discussed this last time, if I remember. We said to look at an issue or an episode or an event, a situation from the other person's perspective is something so mature, something so thoughtful, right? When we look at something from the other person's perspective, we avoid conflicts, right? We avoid situations getting out of hand. Very interesting. Some of my other friends have written to me about the technical aspects of the video. I must thank Zuala, who gave me a detailed list of things I should keep in mind while making a video. And thank you, Harsh, for your comments too. So many other friends have written about issues that make them angry and what they do to handle situations in their daily life. And yes, frustrations, anxiety, stress, all this is part of our life. It is not something that we can avoid all the times, but we learn how to handle our anger, how to handle our emotions. I remember some very good comments when somebody said that, ma'am, sometimes we try so hard, we put in so much of hard work to achieve something. We have our dreams, that we work for with utmost sincerity, and when things don't happen our way, when our dreams don't bear fruition, it makes us angry, and sometimes it's like silent rage, but it hurts immensely. So what do I say about that? What we must remember is not everything that we desire in life comes true. Yes, that is a fact of life. Sometimes we work very hard, but all that we aim for, all that we aspire for, may not come true always. Yes, life is not a perfect place to be. That it is said that if you really dream for something, if you really hope for something with all your heart, okay, and you work towards it with all the commitment and sincerity, the universe conspires to make it happen. But sometimes, unfortunately, things don't turn our way, our dreams don't come true, like I said. Those times we must understand that that is a fact of life. You have to make peace with it. Maybe the time is not right for the event to happen. They say God makes everything beautiful in His own sweet time. Similarly, the time will come when your dreams will be fulfilled. We just need to have that little bit of extra patience in our life to just wait a while and understand that if not now, tomorrow for sure, yes, it will happen. So patience will help us have better control over our emotions and sentiments. Yes, so that is very interesting concept. Now I always say that anger and other emotions, okay, they are all part of our life. We only learn to handle them. We cannot master all of them overnight. It's a lifelong learning process. I always say this. Now we learn and we grow. Now a few things, like I always say, a few thoughts that I must leave you with. This is something very interesting. Okay, the power that we have over these emotions and over these sentiments, our emotions and sentiments, lies within us. It should always lie within us. The power lies within us. The hero lies in you. The beautiful song, if you remember, the hero lies in us. So that power should never be given to the outside source, the outside trigger. Okay, how I behave to an unkind remark, how I behave, how I emote or how I respond to an unpleasant situation or an unpalatable condition or an event depends entirely on me. How much importance do I accord the other person or the unkind remark he has made? How much importance or significance the outside source, trigger, that I give to the trigger is completely dependent on me, right? So the power, how I behave, how I react, how I emote should always be within me. I should decide that. Am I a slave to the outside source? Am I so powerless that I don't have control over my emotions and sentiments? So the idea is to be powerful enough, okay, to improve the strength, the inner core, so that we gain this control over our emotions and sentiments at all times. It's something that we learn with age. It doesn't come overnight. It's something that you practice with time. Like I said, I have grown up with a lot of insecurities. I've read, I have interacted with people. Life is a great teacher. I read, I find out information, and I practice what I preach. So I don't preach, I'm sorry. I practice what I share with my young friends. So these are all things that I have practiced and I have gained immensely. So I want you to make an early start in life and benefit from all this. And when you practice something with commitment and dedication, definitely over a period of time you will see the difference. And remember the last four lines from the very famous and impactful, powerful poem Invictus. It's one of my all-time favorites. He says, as I quote, "It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." I repeat, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. I will see you all next time. Bye for now.